disability issues. So I would like really hear about your experience, how to prove that some rights which are for which are entitled all citizens can be proved that they are not respect for citizens with disability. Thank you.
I think the answer is you need both. And in the United States, we have both kinds of laws. So, for example, the Americans with Disabilities Act is absolutely necessary because the general laws against discrimination don't cover specifics like access to the subways, or fixing the sidewalks, or very specific things that are in the ADA. On the other hand, I mentioned to you this wonderful statute called the New York City Human Rights Law. Well, that is not a disability law. It's just what it says. It's a human rights law, and it prohibits discrimination on the basis of gender, ethnic background, religious, and all of the various and then it mentions disability as one of them. All right. One of the things I really would like to emphasize for Sweden is, from the American experience, is the Americans with the most important acts for people with disabilities, which are the Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act that applies to government agencies, and the Americans with Disabilities Act did not come out of some long tradition in the United States of litigation or anything of that nature. It came out of the disability rights movement. So, as many of you may know, the Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act was it was a law, but nobody was enforcing it until the disability rights movement did these massive sit-ins. I mean, and it wasn't other groups helping them, and it was people with disabilities, people in wheelchairs, and people with sensory disabilities doing sit-ins at government offices. The Americans with Disabilities Act did not come out of a tradition of American litigation. Yes, we are a litigious society, all right? It also came out of a moment in time when the disability community, all parts of the disability, coalesced around, we need this act. We need equitable enforcement. We need class actions. We need fee shifting. So it's still possible, but it isn't going to come from the lawyers. It's got to come from the disability community.
I just thought I should add about this Section 504, the Rehabilitation Act, which is mentioned up here. One of the key issues in that is that the way I remember it, or the way I understood it, is it says that public money, federal monies, shall not go to private organizations that discriminate. It's a very clear message in regards to everybody getting our tax monies. And that was, say, one of the keys as to why that 1973 Rehabilitation Act was so important. It's an idea that is slowly being established in Sweden, but it's something that people are very much afraid of. And I think one of the reasons they're afraid of it is it might work. It puts those who want our tax monies on notice that they better perform to a higher standard, the standard that ensures delivering services to everybody.
I just might want to add here that as part of the outcome of this Section 504, and Sid, you might correct me, it has had great impact on public procurement. So when we have in our Windows operating system sticky keys, for example, we don't have to push two keys at the same time. that can do one after another. This is not just that Microsoft had this fantastic idea. They were bloody well forced to do these changes to the operative system and many others as part of the accommodation process. So we benefit even here because it would be too expensive for Microsoft to have different operative system, one for the US and one for Europe. So we all benefited from this, riding piggyback. But Sid, I want to come back to the earlier comment you made in response to a question. You said, we don't take any cases through the door, coming in through the door. You take cases that have been filtered through the organizations of disabled people. But that raises the question, do those organizations have the resources to filter these, process them, weed out those that don't, and take out the strategic ones? Do they have the resources? How do they do this?
Well, we try to work with the organizations that are most effective. And the short answer is the organizations that we work with do have the resources to deal with complaints, to sort out the complaints, to try to figure out strategies. And sometimes they're focusing on a specific disability, and sometimes they focus on many disabilities. So we work with National Federation of the Blind in the United States, and those organizations, of course, focus on issues having to do with the blind, but they